My lovely, welcome to a Level of True Crime. I'm Mama D in the house. Hope you are all doing well. We're going to be talking about Idaho 4 case and why, when most people are triggered by trauma, fight or flight, that's the deal, right? But most people don't go, I think I'm going to take a nap. So it leaves us in this as if we don't have enough perplexing questions in this case where 4 individuals lost their lives by a sharp blade weapon. You have this situation where 2 roommates, not only do they not get attacked, which is wonderful, but now, I'll be honest, get your blanket, get something to drink. We're going to talk. I'm more suspicious about Bethany after listening, or not listening, reading the transcripts of the 911 call and the text between DM and BF. I'm more suspicious of it because if one girl is alone and she might have something in her system, stuff is going around like, bumps and thuds, seeing someone, adrenaline might make you pass out completely, like faint, and not wake up for hours. But now we know that these two girls, BF and DM, locked themselves after extreme fear, freaking out, all this down in Bethany's room, which is feet from the door. Like you could leave. You've got phones. Obviously, you're texting back and forth. You could get help. I cannot, for the life of me, wrap my head around. Now we know it's approximately 6 hours of what we know now. Could change, but what's been released in the text. There's 6 hours of missing time right there alone, where it's like radio silence. And I was really thinking about this whole thing about Sigma Chi. They're the ones, the president of Sigma Chi is one of them, I believe, to the best of my knowledge, that was one of the friends that they called. Didn't Santa and Ethan have a big fight with Sigma Chi in that kind of a conflict of interest? I'm just saying. That, to me alone, would draw my suspicion. Oh, so we had a fight over there with the Sigma Chi's, and the president showed up and is the one that's checking on the victims? So he's putting his DNA there first, and therefore, if his DNA is ever found, it can't be questioned. Get my ducky blanket. I need to feel comfortable, and I'm very uncomfortable with that. How is everybody doing? Welcome to our live. Let's see how everybody's doing. Hey, Colder Covered. Thank you to all my mods. That girl, hello to you. Hi, Joyful Dolphin. Hey, Snow Leopard, welcome to our channel and family. Hey, Zozo. Cyber says one phone is dead, but when someone said she knew others were dead. Didn't get that last part. Here's the thing. We were discussing this yesterday in our live, and I can't remember which true crimer it was, but one of our 1111 family members brought up this point. So there's that moment where DM says, I'm screwed. I'm so screwed though, right? Or something like that. But we think it says, I'm scared though. Okay? All right. But Bethany says, get a load of this. I know, but it's better than being alone. How does Bethany know at that moment that DM is alone? Because Xana and Ethan and Kaylee and Maddie are in the house. So I was thinking, okay, she called and nobody answered. Doesn't mean they could get to their phones, but how does she know that she's alone? That somebody upstairs that you're talking to is, how does Bethany know what's going on with Dylan? That she's alone. That's weird to me. Maybe I'm making too much out of it, but I wasn't the only one that thought that was really strange. And then, like I said, back to this whole Sigma Chi thing. Hey, Viv. Good to see you. Hi, Maggie. Okay, so Xana and Ethan had to be walked home, according to Ethan's own mother. Stacy Chapin had stated that Hunter walked home Xana and Ethan, and she didn't know why. Well, we know that there was a disturbance over at Sigma Chi. Now, I've pointed this out so many times, but it's so important. Think about it. So, 2 individuals will need to be walked home, but that leaves the other individual that walked them there to now be fully exposed to whatever it is and be fine to return home alone. So that would put a interesting conversation if we go back to the beginning of this being a targeted, air quote, attack. See what I'm saying? It's saying, oh, we feel like we would be targets, so can you walk us home so, we feel safe, right? And so then one of the first and to my knowledge, the only people out of the kids that is checking on a victim is part of Sigma Chi. A big part. And then if you look into their volunteer systems, well, guess what? They are the ones that are going to be responding because they have a volunteer system. If something happens on their block, on their watch, in this area, they are the first ones to have to go to that sorority or that home or whatever. So they would know ahead of time they were going to be called into that home. That blows my mind. Hi, Elsie and Moonlight. Hello, both of you. Hey, Ocean Deep. Hey, Jennyville. This entire case is effed up and all players still here. All sus, in my humble opinion, including parental, says Jenny V. Interesting. What are you guys' thought? You love the calm backdrop? Thank you, Ben P. Hey, Margaret Dixon. Good to see you. Zyra, hello again. You said every crime works best with an insider, and Dylan seems like I can't say that. That's a little harsh, and it's a diagnosis, so I can't repeat that. You don't have her in good light. I get it. What about the eyes all over Dylan's room? The bushy eyebrows. The fascination with eyes and bushy eyebrows. That really is creepy. To think of like pins and needles pushed into these eyeball things. It is disturbing, I will give you that. Hey, Lou. Blessings to you too. Hey, Prime Candy. Good to see ya. Marie Castro. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hey, Mary M. Maybe BF meant it is better than DM being alone in her own room. Ah. That is highly likely. That makes more sense. So, something happens in your house. You have windows, you have a phone, you have all this. Everybody that I know is going to absolutely fight or flight. And I doubt you're going to fight. You're probably going to flight with the amount of ruckus. You're terrified. Like I said, you've got windows, you've got doors, you've got phones. So what prevents them? That's the question. What prevents them? What goes against that human nature to leave? or to reach out to get help, why not call 911? It can't be over just a ticket for drinking or whoops, I dropped acid. No, it's something more. Tabitha Fisher, can we talk about the cop knowing the age of the victim before the 911 operator even asked? Well, I'm sure they'd been there for some reason. So, I feel that there's this shoe. Okay, let me put this in a stronger way. I feel there's something with that shoe print by Dylan's door. If that's biological fluids, then somebody had already visited the crime scene, and at that point, their sole of their shoe deposited that biological evidence. And that would have been one thing. But to have it cleaned up means they scrubbed the carpet. And I believe from our past conversations that is why that front door is open and that slider in the kitchen is open, to dry those carpets. Because the carpets aren't going to dry if you keep the house all shut tight. But to get that airflow through there. Best of me, hello to you. Thank you. You say you enjoy the content. Maggie, you would call 911 to preserve your life. Never mind if you've been doing rugs, self-preservation would kick in. I believe so too. I just can't gather not one reason for both girls to huddle up. They're not going to fall asleep. If they're terrified and have seen an intruder in the house and nobody in the house is responding, they're not, in my humble opinion, going to huddle down and just wait till sometime late in the day tomorrow to investigate. I just can't in a million years. So I live upstairs of my home, and I have people in my home. If I heard a ruckus, if I saw some mass person in my home, I would have called 911 the second I could. I can't get past that. And then what is that call to Eric Grower about? That's really weird. I can't figure that out. Claire Davis, maybe D&B, had a bad trip on rugs and red rum them and then messaged each other to make it look like someone else, in my opinion. Thank you, Claire, for sharing your thoughts. Hey, Man's Life. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Let me scroll back up. Hello, beautiful. Hello to you. I'm trying to get caught up on chat. There we go. I don't understand, if they were terrified, says Nan's Life, why they didn't escape from the window on the ground floor. I have no clue. I can't even. You know how easy it would have been to just crawl out your damn bedroom window on the ground floor? And you wouldn't even have had to go through the door. Who let the dog in a half hour after the attacks? Who cleaned up the footprint before everybody got there? I doubt that the red rummer's gonna stay behind me like, okay, let the dog in now, we're done. Let's go ahead and get this cleaned up over here where I left my shoe print. Maggie, why clean the carpets? The bodies were still there, so clean carpets doesn't get rid of the problem. That's a big question. Unless it would have been more identifying. I'm confused too. Hey, Colder Cupboard. You aired your home out after bleaching, etc. Definitely corruption in this one, says Viv. Debbie Gazzardo says it doesn't seem like DM or BF had no concern for Ethan, Xana, or Maddie, or Kaylee. 911 call could have saved their lives, in my opinion. And the thing is even on that call, they're like, can I just tell you what happened last night? Like, I can't imagine telling a 911 officer what happened. It wouldn't matter. The only reason you're calling 911 is an urgency to get them there at the house, to tell them what's wrong with the person so they can fix them. And that person, that Evan, from what I'm understanding, he's the Evan that was interviewed by a creator in the beginning of this. And he said he was there with the group and that Dylan was far from panicked. She was actually laughing, making jokes about it. And I don't know if any of that is true, but that is what I remember him saying. I don't know if it's true, though. Hanky Can't Do That by Bob Essel. In court documents, DM stated, Guy in Ninja Mask stood 3 feet from her, staring at her, but said nothing. Really? Oh, yeah, he was holding a vacuum. Did he kiss her and say, get to work, babe? That was a long one, but worth it. Thank you, Hanky Can't Do That. It's an emergency number, right, OD? Syra, ooh, I was watching Rob and Ed, and they slipped Xana might be alive. Any news leaks? What? I don't know what you're talking about, hon. Ocean Deep says, in my opinion, she's quite happy with herself. No more jealousy for Dylan. Now, if we go back and we think about Kaylee and Maddie, they got home at 1:56 p.m. Exactly. It's just a little over 10 minutes later, like 14 minutes, and now DM is calling that driver that dropped the women off and asking if he's still driving around. Still driving? Why? That's bizarre. That's bizarre. How bizarre, how bizarre. It's really got me confused as to what on earth that is about. Now, keep in mind, Eric Grower allegedly lives very close to BK. Oh, that's right. Thank you, Zozo. You did good reminding me. We have a poll. Almost always forget. Why do you feel... Now, you can do the poll whether you're on Replay Crew or in the live. So I'm going to give you your choices. First, we have 81 votes. Get it up there. Get it up there. Get it up there. Get the vote up there. I'll read the question and the answers, but I won't tell you what the vote is for a few more. Just because we have so many here in chat and not many on the vote. Okay, let me see. What do I want to do here? There we go. All right. Why do you feel the roommates didn't leave the house right away? A, waiting for rugs to wear off. B, part of the setup cleanup. C, so scared they felt tired and went to sleep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody's dead in the house, but hey, let's get some sleep before the shite hits the phone. D, maybe they thought it was a joke, and I added that because that is literally what Steve Gonsalves suggested. That maybe the roommates could have thought that they were being pranked. I don't know. Carpet cleaner must have been used, maybe. I like that. Maybe. Margaret Dixon, could "are you driving" be code for "you can drop me some rugs"? It makes you wonder if it's code for something, right? Happening at that time to something right away. It's almost as it's so weird. Viv says, yeah, I almost always fall asleep when I'm fearful for my life. Joyful Love, if I missed it, you'll have to reprint it. I'm not going to keep scrolling, sweetheart. Miriam, DM could have used a code for that driver. Ginger Snap says, did the house have carpet in it? Yes. I think it was all laminate. No, it had carpet. It had carpet according to the pictures in the living room. I read court documents from defense last night, says Hanky can't do that. Maddie's fingernail clippings have been tested. 1 DNA is Maddie, and 2 unknown males, which is neither, match Brian, according to the defense. Right. For real. I feel that these girls knew who these attackers were. I'm going to bring up something. I think it's a combined. I think it has to do with Kaylee and Maddie and Ethan and Xana connected to Hudson Lindo. Because he passed away in April. The 4chan, which to this day I can't shake, there's something to that. And if you look back on that 4chan, it suggests that it all is coming from last fall, the year before, during Rush. Well, Ethan and Hudson Lindo rushed together. Hudson Lindo was found by a little bridge there at Paradise Creek, right? And he was no longer alive. With Kaylee always digging into things, we also have Caden Young, who was a journalist. He could have been looking into the story too. Apparently he OD'd twice in the same night. That's super sus to us. Officially, Carrie George. Thank you, my love. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. And I also, at the very beginning, at the very start, gifted to whoever it was, the Starlights. So I want to welcome 5 new Starlights as well. And Sunday, we're going to do our TC radio. Ocean Deep, you're kind of right. They had enough time to lay fresh carpet, let alone clean it. No, Kaylee, Zyra. Kaylee, they alleged, was collateral damage in the 4chan and wasn't supposed to be there. Mads, they said, was the target, one of the targets. Well, I was thinking about that. Let's say that that was the connecting thing. That means Sigma Chi would be a focus again, because Hudson Lindo was Sigma Chi the year before, along with Ethan Chapin. All right. Now, we all know that the girls were having a lot of Sigma Chi in their house. Then we hear about the fight over at Sigma Chi that night, right? Then we have Hunter, according to Ethan's mom, walking Ethan and Xana home, which to me is a sign of fear, to have somebody walk you home, but yet they can walk home, that individual alone, and they're safe. So that really bothered me. And I wondered if there wasn't something that went down with Hudson Lindo that Ethan knew and had shared that with Xana, who had shared that with Kaylee and Maddie. Now, when you look at Kaylee, we all know she was a super sleuth. She always dug into mystery. That was one of her things. So she could have very well uncovered something with having all these Sigma Chi around and not said a lot that she knew it, because she was getting the hell out of there anyway. Interesting enough, about the time that Hudson passes away, this is when everybody in that house moves out of their sorority and moves into this house, 1122. Okay? So they're all like, oh, we're going to get our own place all together. Now, we jump ahead. On the very night that this all is about to occur, we have that fated moment where Kaylee says, Maddie, what did you tell Adam? And that's when Maddie says, oh, I just told Adam everything. And I've often wondered, was it that they had figured out the truth about Hudson Lindo? Because by golly, that would inspire the group that probably were fearful the truth was going to come out about Hudson to protect that, because that would mean their future was at risk. And so that could inspire this group, if you will, that I believe went over there and took this action. Claire Lindstedt, so my twins both have a MetaQuest 3 VR, and they both play in a game called Gorilla Tag. That's funny. Shiv says, what did they say, please, Joyful? I don't know the case well. Ocean Deep says, even though the house has been demolished, there may be evidence in the drains under the house proving they cleaned the carpets, in my opinion. Late to the party, but hey. Hi, Sam Smith. How you doing? Good to see you. There is no house left for them to check. Okay, Joyful, I'll try to find it. Thank you, lovely. Debbie Gazzardo, 14 months as a starlight. Thank you so incredibly much. Appreciate that. Joyful says, what do you think the cops meant when they say what they said? I have no idea, sweetheart, what they said and what part you're referring to. Lucy believes it has something to do with Hannah Claire, and it could be both. Hi, R.I. Housewife. Hello. Possibly steam cleaner. Could be why the doors were open. Hey, Stacy Martle. Hey, Lucy. Ooh, chat's flying, you guys. I'm trying. Courtster, hello. Got to the last love and just finished. I'm all ears. Hey, Bill Heslop. Good to see ya. Why did they destroy the house, Claire? I would love that answer. Claire Davis is, got the big question. Why destroy the house? Before the jury gets to walk through it, before trial, they claim because it was a bad memory for everybody. Sometimes we need to be reminded how dangerous things are, especially when it very much appears to me and others that they have the wrong guy. And if they have the wrong guy, that means the real ones are out there still. But hey, get rid of the house. Claire Lindstead says the the crime scene forensics would surely be able to tell, wouldn't they? Depends on what they did. Audrey H. says nothing about their behavior makes sense. Viv says maybe even more likely to be there, seeing as no running water coming from shower sinks, washing machines, or anything now. That's a good point. That's a good point. Maggie says, isn't it odd that they got rid of the house when there was an open investigation? Boom! You win that one. Good to see you, Courtster. Jennyville, good to see you. You're doing yard work and cleanup? Ah, why, the sun is out. Nice. I wish the sun would come out by me. That is the best therapy. You're right, Prime Candy. All right. Yeah, destroying the house is a tragedy. Hey, Adrian, now, according to the docs, they're going to use the third mock-up. It's so not the same and frustrating, truthfully. Okay, Joyful says, when the cops went out to talk to Kaylee about the wild music, the party sounds, which, remember that there weren't even sounds coming from the house? That confused me. But the cops were looking on the side of the house at the balcony, and I think he said something about no stairs. Right, Joyful? You almost had it. Very good, very good. Excellent point. Hanky can't do that. Said, did anybody find it strange that the cop in the 911 tape radioed on his way to unresponsive 20-year-old female before operator even asked callers how old Santa was? That is wild. You get a gold star. That is wild. How would a police officer that's en route know that it's a 20-year-old at all? That's very interesting. You got me stumped. Stacy Martell says, did you ever check out the video of the cop cam from the night of the red rum that I sent you the other day? Yeah, I've seen that many times. I actually have quite a few videos on it. But thank you for sending it. That is wild. That is right, Prime Candy. That's a very specific age. Not teen or young lady, 20-year-old. No, Stacy. DM's dad is not a cop. No. Zyra, how old is Dylan? I think she was 20. I think. He could not have known. Right, Hanky D? Oh, yeah. Hanky's right on that. That is wild. Claire Lindstead says, could they have all been given a sedative in their food, hence why the dogs slept eating their leftovers, waiting till they were sleeping, then resume them? Well, the dog was outside barking for almost 30 minutes nonstop, even after the assailant had left, after the crime had occurred, and someone let that dog in. That's interesting. But I do wonder, could they have... But see, Kaylee and Maddie wouldn't have had any food that was tainted because it came from the grub truck, and they were looking forward to eating it. There's Zaxxon. Thank you, Zaxxon, for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much. And welcome to all my beautiful starlights. There you go, Hanky. Antique Jeans, Mito, Sherry Sandor, and Robert New York. Welcome as our starlights. I hope you'll tune in on Sunday. Okay, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. 20-year-old comment came from the operator. It's hard to know for sure, but you're probably right. Evening, Sharon Forbes. Good to see you. From the UK. Okay, Jennifer Swain has a good point. DM was a freshman, so maybe 18, 19. Could be 20, but yeah, 18 or 19. Nan's Life said, do you think the girls were being surveilled? Oh, surveyed from the Grub Truck live stream. I do. Personally. I agree with you. Do you guys? Do you feel that the attackers actually were watching Keely and Maddie on that Grub Truck live feed? Good question, Nan. Bobby X says, didn't she investigate the dog barking? Nobody that I know of did. Yes, Joyful. Claire says, don't like to go off subject, but is there an update on the baby Dean Paulson? Not that I have. Nothing at this point. I'm praying, but I've lost a lot of hope. I've lost a lot of hope on that. Stacy Martell says yes, but I think they had someone there too. Margaret Dixon says, unusual that the dispatcher said to get a defibrillator, but didn't say to start CPR. Yeah. What is that about? Did they ask if she's breathing? Because you sure the hell wouldn't use a defibrillator if the person's heart is beating. Oh my God. I mean, I know you would not use a defibrillator if the person is breathing. They ask if the person's conscious, but I don't remember anybody say, I got to review that. Let me look at that real quick. Is she breathing? Just let me look at it real quick. I don't know if I have it all. Shoot, I don't have the 911 part. Yeah, I'll have to double check that. That's something you guys should check too. No, she wasn't, but who is a I think the arriving officer had the defibrillator, and that's what she was meaning. You think DM was watching them, Hanky? Exactly, Viv. If their heart is already beating and you zap them, you could stop their heart with a defib. Okay, why they say unconscious when there's BLOOD all over the room? I don't know. And I'm still lost. Why didn't they leave? Why didn't they flight? You know, fight or flight response. They didn't have urgency. They didn't have this panic of, we've got to get the hell out of here. I mean, it's like every movie you ever watch and the woman in the house is going to get attacked. And you know it. Like, she finds everybody else is deceased, right? And then she's like, ah! And you're screaming at the TV, right? With everything you got. You're like, get out of the house! Get out of the house! I mean, even there's memes made where you call the 911 operator and you're like, yeah, I think there's an intruder in my house. And the operator's like, are you in your house? And the girl's like, yes. And she's like, well, get the hell out. I am mind blown. Why would you not leave? Out a window, out a door, call for help? I don't know. But just to sit there and be like, maybe we'll be next. It just, there's no self-preservation. Jamie Cowboys, hello. You say I live like that every day. Fight or flight from a trauma. I am so sorry to hear that for you. I hope that you get out of it. Jules Hudson passed and the same name walked and Hunter is the one, Jules, that walked him home, not Hudson. Absolutely, says Hanky. That's why she texted the guy that drove them. She was trying to figure out where he was, in my opinion. Could be. Okay, Joyful does say the dispatch did ask if she was breathing. Okay. Ocean Deep believes guilty as sin. Rooster Possum, hello and welcome. They were told to stay in the house. Glowy, we're going to leave it there where you left it. In your opinion, you believe they were involved. All right, you guys, we're going to get this poll ready, and then we're about to shut it down. Are you ready? Who do you feel the room, or why? Why do you feel that the roommates didn't leave the house right away? 6% C. So scared they felt tired and asleep. They felt tired and asleep. 7% was D. Maybe they thought it was a joke. 23% thought it was A, waiting for rugs to wear off. And the whopping majority is part of the setup and cleanup. 65%. 119 votes. Dang! Wow! Drum roll, please. I love you guys so much. I hope that you have a fantastic day. If you are into pulling cards, if that's your thing, jump over on the magic carpet ride and do the time warp again. It's just a jump to your left and pull your knees in tight. Get ready for a jump. You'll take the thumbnail and it will jump us over to part 2, Idaho 4 reading on DM. And I'm going to tell you right now, what happens in this reading that I'm about to share with you blew my mind, and you don't want to miss it. I hope you'll join us. I love you to the moon and back. Let's get some music on. We'll rock out the house. Thank you, Jennyville, Chloe, K, Viv, Prime Candy, Zaxxon, Ocean Deep, Chloe, James Cowboys, Claire Davis, you guys rock the house. Real Housewife, good to see you and thank you. Prime Candy, Zyra, Courtster, Audrey, all of you. I love you so much and I will see you again soon. You'll be there, Chloe? I'll be there. I'll meet you all over there.